Hi everyone, it's Julie from Artfully You, and today we're going to be painting a cottage scene of a red canoe at sunset, very Canadian. So I start by painting my canvas with water to help the paint flow more easily, and then I tilt my canvas on its side so I can get a straight horizon line. I'm painting the center of the canvas with white paint. Once I've kind of got my straight horizon line, I can put it back on its side, and I'm going to put some yellow above and below that white horizon line, followed by orange. So here I'm kind of putting some orange on, and I'm blending most of the orange on the right hand side of the canvas, so I have the emphasis of the sunset on the left hand side. So here I am doing some blending. For the very top and bottom of the canvas, I'm applying a red mixed with a little bit of yellow, so it's going to be a red-orange. And then I'm going to let that dry. Then I'm going to tilt my canvas back on its side so I can do the horizon line. It's much easier to do a horizon line from top to bottom than from left to right. That's because we all have one eye higher than the other, so it's quite hard to get a straight line. So here I am doing the straight line. I'm using a 3/4 inch flat brush with some brown paint, and what I do is I use my fingers like a pair of hair straighteners. So I dip the brush in some water, squeeze out the water, kind of straighten the brush, and then I put a tiny bit of paint on the end of the brush. I'm now doing lines all the way along the canvas, different heights and different widths apart. And then I do my tree technique, which I call dot dot wiggle wiggle wiggle. So if you do a couple of little fine dots followed by some zigzags, so kind of like the letter Z, you're kind of wiggling down and getting wider as you get towards the horizon line. What I'm also doing is varying the color. So this is brown with, I'm starting with a lot of white, quite watered down, and then as I get towards the foreground, sort of my dominant trees, I'm making them more of a deeper brown. I'm also doing very watered down paint underneath for the reflection. I'm not kind of trying too hard to make them exactly the same as the trees above, just to kind of get a subtle reflection. The next stage is I'm adding a bit more of a deeper red top and bottom, just to put more drama into the painting. For the last stages of the sunset, I'm adding a little bit more yellow here and there for sort of a cloudy appearance, and I'm adding some brown top and bottom, again just on the right hand side to put the emphasis towards that light source where the sun is setting. I have to confess, the next stage my video did stop recording, so especially for you guys watching my YouTube video, I am recreating this painting with the next steps. So you will see two slightly different paintings in this video as I've merged two videos together. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the red canoe. So I'm using white paint with a fine paintbrush, and I'm starting with a straight line which is about 1.5 finger spaces high, and then I'm putting a sort of curved arrowhead on the top. Then about 3 finger spaces above that and 1 finger space to the right, I'm doing another curved arrowhead, and then I'm kind of joining the two together with what looks like a sort of wonky upside down heart shape. I've added a curved sort of V shape underneath that, and then I've put some emphasis to the left hand side of that line with a little bit of white paint. I've also put some lines across, which would be the kind of seats within the canoe. I've then put red paint directly below the white lines of the seats, and then black paint directly below that, and kind of merge those colors together. On the front of the canoe, I'm adding yellow ochre, which I'm then adding a little bit of purple to for the bottom part of the canoe where it touches the water for the shadow. The best way to create shadow with yellow is to add its opposite color on the color wheel, which is purple. two ways to get straight lines when you're painting. So this is for the deck, the kind of the bit that comes out which the canoe is attached to. You could use a ruler. I do like to use tape. So here I'm making a letter A shape, which I wanted to show you just so you could kind of use the technique. I use frog tape because it doesn't bleed. So I'm making kind of the letter A with this tape, and then I'm going to paint inside with just pure brown to start with. Then I'm going to use yellow ochre at the top part of the deck to create the light source, and then I'm going to also add some oranges as well. I'm making sure that those lines get thinner and closer together as they get further away towards the kind of horizon line. Okay, so I did warn you I made two videos together, so here we're back on my second video that I made, and here I'm just starting to put some shadow to the right hand side of where the deck and the canoe is, some shadows in the water. So most of the shadows are on the right hand side. I've also put a line of shadow on the left hand side, right at the bottom of the canvas, and then I've put some shadows on the right hand side of the canoe, and then I've blended all of that upwards. The colour I used for the shadow was black with red and then a little bit of yellow. So it's like a sort of aubergine colour. Okay, we are nearly there. Last stage, I dip my pinky finger in some white paint. I carefully place it where I want my sun, sort of fix it a little bit with my filbert paintbrush, and then I wiggle my finger underneath in the water where I want the reflection, and it's that simple. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'd love to see the painting you create as a result of watching this video. You can hashtag me artfullyyou. You can tag me in my Instagram page julie.artfullyyou, or post it to my Facebook Artfully You with Julie Wurtele, or send it to me in an email info@artfullyyou. Please subscribe, click the like button, and thank you to everybody who has sent me donations so far. I am going to keep providing free Zoom classes for as long as the pandemic is around, so feel free to check out my website and join in any of my free classes either on Zoom or watch again on YouTube. Take care.